was Carlo Gambino, the most powerful mafia boss of his generation.
Who was Carlo Gambino? The real Carlo Gambino from the series The Godfather of Harlem, played by Arthur Nascarella. Carlo Gambino was the American Mafia most powerful and respected Don from the late 1950s, until he died peacefully of natural causes in 1976, as the face of organized crime in New York City. Known for his quiet, understated demeanor and razor-sharp criminal safety, Gambino was a teenage hitman in Sicily, alleged to be made into the mafia overseas before coming to the United States in 1921 at the age of 19 and going to work for cousins connected to gangland factions in New York. His cousins were employed by East Coast Prohibition-era mob boss Salvatore Toto de Aquila, for whom he too immediately went to work. When the Aquila was killed, rival gangster Giuseppe Joe the Boss Masseria in 1928, Gambino shifted his alliance to the Masseria gang, which fought a 4-year war for underworld supremacy in New York against Salvatore Maranzano, a crime lord hailing from different sections of Sicily than Masseria and Gambino did. At the end of the war, Masseria and Maranzano were gone, shot dead, abuses, and the modern-day American Mafia was formed. Gambino went on to become the original member of one of the 5 New York crime families, designated under the La Cosa Nostra Bande, the one belonging to Vincent Manangano, and the one that eventually would be named for him. In the 1930s, Gambino was convicted of running an illegal liquor still and served almost 2 years in federal prison, the last time he would ever serve time behind bars. Mangano and his brother Philip were slain on the same day in 1951 on the orders of Mangano's underboss Albert Anastasia, and 6 years later, in the fall of 1957, Gambino himself orchestrated Anastasia's murder and assumed command of the crime family for the next 19 years. Under his guidance, the Gambino syndicate expanded into territories and rackets and had in the past taken almost complete control of labor unions on the New York and New Jersey's waterfront, at the JFK airport, in the trucking, construction and garment industries. Along the entire East Coast, they provided handsomely from an array of white-collar scams and finance district fleeces. The unofficial chairman of the board of the Mafia Commission, the ruling council made up the county's most important dons. Gambino was beloved by his men and many of his fellow godfathers in New York and across the nation. He forged strong ties with mob bosses in, among other local, broadening his reach well behind his Empire State stomping grounds. Gambino discouraged narcotics trafficking among his troops, instituting the deal and die policy. He was leery of long sentences and they could incur for drug offenses, which could provide reason for then cooperate with authorities. He preferred instead to stick to traditional mob rackets such as bookmaking, loan sharking, hijacking and extortion, as well as maintaining as much presence as possible in the labor unions. He married his son of the daughter of fellow New York Mafia boss Tommy Three-Finger Brown Lucchese, and he was the cousin and brother-in-law to Paul Castellano, one of his highest earning crew bosses. Hounded by the FBI for decades, such as the 1970s, he was indicted for masterminding a major East Coast burglary ring. The government never nailed him. He was known for offering arrest FBI agents coughing and dessert at his home before they took him in for booking. Carlo Gambino battled health problems in the later years, finally succumbing to heart disease on October 15, 1976 at his Long Island waterfront home. Before dying, Gambino controversially bypassed his number 1 tool in charge, Della Croce, in favor of his brother-in-law Paul Castellano as more corporate-style goodfellow, leaving his syndicate on shaky ground in subsequent years.